Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to spend a few words talking about my digital audio player, which happens to be an LG V30 Plus phone. And I chose that because, I don't know if you can see it here, but so LG in the V20s, 30s, and 40 series had this super high quality quad DAC, which is hard to find in any other phone these days. Used to be able to find it in HTC phones, but now it's primarily in these LG phones. And when you're looking for a digital audio player, you're sort of looking for the same high quality DAC, but I ended up buying it on eBay from these guys. I think it's called Wireless Depot. And back when I bought it, they had even more of these. You can see they start about $55 for this LG V30 US 998 128 gigabyte version. So this happened to be, better than the V20, but a lot cheaper than the V40, and that's how I ended up with the V30. And then the V30 Plus happens to have the 128 gigabytes, which was kind of nice as well. So what you can kind of notice, this Wireless Depot, these $55 ones, all have wacky screen artifacts, and you can't see them because these are kind of small, but each one of these screens is probably cracked, and mine is cracked as well. And I don't know if we could actually get in. Yeah, you probably can't see it on that either, but there's actually a crack up here, there's a crack up here, and there's a crack over here. But I actually went through his listings and found the one that had the least amount of cracking that I could see from the pictures. Mine also had a metal plate that was glued to the back of it, so it was discounted for that. And the screen is discolored with shadows, which is another thing that was discounted. So I think I paid more, I think in the $65 to $70 range. And if you keep on scrolling, you'll see a whole bunch of more that get more expensive, up to about $100 for better quality ones. But, if you're just playing music, with this thing in your pocket, it doesn't really bother me that the screen was cracked. And to be honest, I put a Loca Glue the UV glue screen protector on it. So yes, it's cracked, but I can't actually feel the cracks because there's a UV glue screen protector on it. So that was kind of why I went there. And if we take a look at one of his listings, and I think maybe you'll be able to see kind of in better detail. So if you look at the picture, you'll see there's a black dead spot there, and you probably can't see it on video, but there's actually kind of spider cracking up there. And if you look, description tended to, or any other pictures, also went into more detail about what the actual physical problems were with the phone. But software-wise, there's probably no issues. And I think he talked about some dead spots on screens. Like this one says, the screen is cracked and scratched and has a black spot and lines on the edges are scuffed. So I kind of like the seller because he really described exactly what the problems were with the phone. And the price was right for what I wanted. I had been looking for a digital audio player kind of in the sub $100 range, and you end up with these tiny A&Os or Benjies. And people are like, yeah, they sound great, but the interface is horrible, and they have like 2 buttons, and the interface is in spotty English. There was always a problem with them. So when I thought about this, I'm like, well, this will be awesome because it's a phone. So I don't use it as a phone, but you can put your SIM in it. I actually have T-Mobile digits, so I can actually use it as a phone through T-Mobile digits. But you don't have to deal with any of that wacky interface stuff. But what you do have to deal with is, so this says US 998 version, and when I got it, it's probably not a true LG V30 unlocked version. What had happened was, I guess someone ended up taking a big dump of them from a different country and then flashing them with US 998 firmware. So it appears to be the unlocked version, but it's actually not. It's some kind of, they call it the Frankenstein version of the V30 Plus. So getting it flashed up to Oreo, Android Oreo, You have to definitely look on XDA forums to figure out how to do that. If you think you're gonna go into settings, system, upgrade, and Oreo is gonna appear, almost 100% chance that that will not happen, especially on these phones from this seller. But getting it flashed up to Oreo, and I think Pi isn't all that far away. Not really that big of an issue because it's already on unlocked firmware. So you basically just have to go download the right firmware and get the LG software to flash it, and then it was fine. So that's that. So once you have the phone, I use it primarily through USB Audio Player Pro. And what USB Audio Player Pro and why people were using it specifically with these V30s is it was the first software outside of Tidal itself to do MQA unfolding in hardware with Tidal music. So if you look closely, you'll see this little wacky, waveform on there. That means MQA, Master Quality Album. I think that's what the A stands for. And that just means that it's not MP3 in some compressed version. This was about as close to the master as you can get. So when you choose one of these and start playing it, you'll see USB Audio Player Pro tells you what the bit rates are and what the MQA settings are. So you can see this guy playing 192K direct. The file is 96 at 24 bits with 1596 kilobits per second. It'll play much higher than that. That just happens to be the one that happened to be at the front of the MQA list. But if you're used to USB Audio Player Pro, usually there just be a dot here which tells you that I think it was either software decoding or not decoding. I forgot which one it was. On the V30 Plus, since it's doing it in hardware, and it may not even be doing hardware until I plug in the headphones, so it's probably not doing anything right now. But if I had headphones plugged in, and if you plug in headphones, the hi-fi quad DAC enables, and then you end up with MQA decoding in hardware, and it's about as good as it gets from a standard music service. And I think the Tidal application does the same thing as well, but USB Audio Player Pro is a little more flexible in that you can play from Tidal. I actually have a Plex server, so you can actually do music. You could have your own FLAC local library, and it'll play FLAC from that, which is pretty handy. So Plex does not do any transcoding either, so this guy happens to be not MQA but just 44.1 kilohertz direct 16 bits, so pretty standard 16-bit FLAC there, but it'll do 24-bit FLACs as well. So that's sort of what's unique about this whole system and why it's a great deal for $55 or $60, whichever you want to use. No other really streamable device at that price range will do MQA unfolding in hardware, and also sounds great. I mean, look for other reviews of this V30 Plus, and you'll see everyone almost universally says it sounds amazing, and I tend to agree with that. So that's the story on the V30 Plus. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.